Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Ask Rebecca radio show. Thank you for joining me. I hope everyone had a great 2 weeks. I ended up taking last week off just because I wanted to be lazy, so I did it. Anyway, let's get right into this week's predictions. Here's what you can expect for the week ahead, which runs from tonight through to next Thursday, August 30th. These are general predictions for everyone in areas of work, love, finances, health, and spirituality. If you're interested in any of the services I offer, you can go to my website at AskRebecca.guru and check it out, and you can reach me if you want to talk to me. General themes for this week. One of the themes surrounds obedience. And I feel like this is going to show up in a ton of different ways. I feel like some of you could be breaking the rules or the laws. Oh my God. To me, it feels more like maybe you're speeding and you end up getting a speeding ticket, or maybe you're running a red light. There are a couple of feelings that I have that could be a little bit more severe, where I feel like maybe someone you know or even yourself could end up with a DUI or some other kind of infraction that has to do with breaking the rules of the land, right? So just be mindful of that. Try not to speed or go crazy because you don't need a ticket. Now, I also feel a couple of IRS letters as well, so hopefully it's not going to be anything too bad, but there could be a few of you that might get a notice from the IRS. It kind of feels like maybe more about, hey, you didn't turn in this paperwork, or we need this, or they're questioning you in some way about something. It doesn't feel like anything major. I also feel like some of your children could get in trouble at school for talking or sleeping or goofing off, or any form of, not being obedient in the eyes of the school rules. So you could see something like that come up, maybe, a note from the teacher or something. Some of you also could be dealing with maybe your kids talking back or not listening, or just in general not following the rules, like you put them to bed and then they sneak out of bed. That sort of thing. Again, it doesn't feel like anything too serious, just enough to get on your nerves. Let's see. Then I do feel like there are some of you that are following someone else's rules to the letter, or even blindly. So there's a caution if you're just blindly following someone because you think they know better than you, or you think that they know what's best for you. So I feel like, pay attention to that, because only you know best for yourself. Trust your own intuition. There's nothing wrong with getting opinions and, advice, but again, just work with what resonates with you. Now, there's also some obedience stuff, again, with like following blindly. I feel like that could surround religions or the occult, right? Not all religions are negative in nature, but there are people that will take advantage of it and use religion as a way to create fear and getting you to follow the rules, because if you don't, you'll be punished. Let's see. The most important takeaway from this theme is learning to follow your own inner knowing and your own authority. Be true to your purpose no matter what. Do not be obedient out of false sense of duty, guilt, or coercion. So the other thing that I'm feeling for this week is that you could feel as if your life is under construction. Everyone's in a different phase of construction. Some of you are in the destruction phase, where everything needs to be destroyed in order to get you to move on to something completely different. Then some of you are doing some minor renovations, maybe some job changes, maybe some relationship changes, or you're moving homes, and maybe even literally renovating your home or office space. No matter what stage you're in, just know this is a time to be gentle with yourself and allow change to occur. And those of you who work in the construction field, I feel like there could be something that arises on the job site that has to do with scaffolding. or some sort of support structures or columns. So I would just say, be safe, pay attention out on the job site, check your surroundings, wear your harnesses, wear your hard hats, safety first. And I do feel like there is a possibility that we could hear something in the news about another bridge collapse or some sort of structure failure in some way. This week, I also see burning bridges, and to me, I'm seeing it and feeling it as a positive type of bridge burning, not where you're burning bridges with people in your life in that way. To me, it's a letting go of all the things in your life that are no longer needed. So maybe you need to clean out the clutter in your home. Maybe you need to clean out your closet. Maybe you need to let go of a toxic relationship or quit a bad habit. It's all about setting yourself free, and definitely set yourself free from any temptations to return to a dying past. And what I mean by that is, like, maybe you've been busting your butt and working really hard at, getting in shape, or maybe you quit smoking or some other thing that you've let go of. You don't want to fall into the old habits to go backward, right? You don't want to travel back to the past and relive that sort of a thing. So again, just kind of pay attention to what you're thinking and feeling and what your motivations are. Set your sights on going forward and creating new experiences. Move through life with integrity and empowerment, and you can't go wrong. Now, work, for those of you employed, I feel like work demands this week could be high for some of you. You're under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. Some of you already have a lot on your plate, and I feel like you'll try to take on more or overcommit to a deadline that you can't possibly keep. Some of you could feel like you're being judged or watched at work. I feel a couple of mentors or good advice coming from a coworker or someone who plays a major part in your working life. Overall, I feel like it's going to be a decent work week. It's just going to be busy. And again, for you business owners out there and those of you that are really trying to make a name for yourself at your job, you know who you are. You're the ones that are workhorses, and you'll work, and you'll, overcommit. You'll try to help everybody. Again, I feel like this is not the week to do that, because you're really going to stress yourself out. Work, for those of you that are looking for a job, some I feel like will have interviews lined up for this week. I feel like for the most part, everyone will have success in their interview. I do feel like a few of you need to streamline your job search specifically to what your background or your profession is, was, or has been. I feel like maybe you're doing too broad of a search, and I just feel like you've got to streamline things. So don't just settle for anything because you're desperate for a job, unless you absolutely have to. I do feel like a few of you need to focus. You're doing everything but actively looking for a job. It's okay to enjoy a little bit of downtime, especially if you've always worked. But I do feel like you've got to get your attention back to the task at hand and work on finding a good job for yourself. Love, those of you that are in committed relationships, I feel like this week, most of you will be in a comfortable place in your relationships, no drama, no issues, just comfort and contentment. Some of you, I feel, are maybe dissatisfied in your relationships this week, and some of you maybe even for a lot longer, partly because you're pretending to be someone you're not, or you're trying to be the person you think your partner wants you to be. And partly because you aren't communicating your needs and wants in a manner your partner can understand. So I feel like some of you truly believe that your partner should pick up on your hints, clues, size, and other codes to know exactly what it is you want, need, or like. And I get that. I've been guilty of that in my past. I feel like, hey, you hang out with me all the time. Aren't you listening to what I'm saying? Aren't you paying attention to what I'm pointing at and saying about what I like? Well, that's just not the reality. It doesn't always happen like that, right? your partner has things going on in their lives and they're not paying attention to everything. So unfortunately, that doesn't always work. And, you know, your partner's not a mind reader. So I feel like the best way to handle this is you'll all be a lot happier if you can just say, hey, babe, I like, I want, I need, I love, whatever it is that's on your mind, right? Also, a few of you or your partners have been, I feel, distracted with your work, with kids, school, other obligations. I just kind of feel like, you know, life has a way of getting in the way of your partnerships and your relationships. And I feel like for some of you, you've strayed apart a little bit. And I feel like, you know, this week, try to put some energy into your love life because I feel like it could be a topic that ends up coming up for you. At minimum, I feel like set some time aside to reconnect or give each other like a verbal reminder that, you know, you love each other, you appreciate and value the relationship, whatever you can say. Hey, babe, you're hot, looking good in those boxers, you know, whatever it is, just a little something to, you know, make the person feel good. Those of you that are looking for love and out there dating, I feel like the same advice goes for some of you when it comes to looking for love with you're trying way too hard at being someone other than yourself, right? Like I get it, nerves get in the way, but I feel like some of you could be out there just trying way too hard. And this week, I feel like it will be very easy to just try to be the perfect person. But be you, be your weird, quirky, happy, goofy, irritable self, whatever that version of you is. It's the only sure way to attract a partner who will actually like you for you and, you know, to end up having a lasting relationship. So I do feel like a few of you are going to meet someone this week who totally just, you guys gel, you vibe, like you'll feel it, you'll know it, you're just like, wow, okay, I'm totally digging this person. And so that's the person that you want to 100% be yourself with, okay? Then there's some of you out there that are trying to date, like I feel like you're actively out there, but you're not having any luck and things aren't really going the way that you really want them to. So I feel like that's going to happen this week again. And to me, I feel like this is connected to you possibly thinking that you're ready for a relationship, but in reality, you're filling your time with work or other distractions, even though you're still going out. Like I just almost feel like there's no space in your life for a relationship, even though you think that you're allowing space for it, if that makes sense. So I feel like those of you that come up against that, evaluate to see if that's the case. You know, are you really letting love come at you? Finances, for the most part, whatever your financial situation has been, it will be the same this week. Overall, stable. Some of you could see increase this week or have some extra cash. A few of you could overspend this week and doing a serious juggling act to get your bills paid. If this is you, I feel like you really need to create a budget or at minimum know what's coming in, what's going out. Some of you, I feel like, are living beyond your means and really need to prioritize. You know, what's more important, new shoes or keeping a roof over your head, that sort of thing. So just balance it all out. Health, some of you need to face and vent negative feelings and then let them go. And those of you who have no problem venting negative feelings, I do feel like you need to make sure that once you do voice it or vent it, that you let it go, right? Like move on and also find the positive in situations. Venting negative feelings doesn't mean going off on others. It doesn't mean being inconsiderate or rude. It's the opposite. Express yourself, be thoughtful of how, where, you know, there's a time and a place. So I do feel like some of you are going to be feeling overstressed this week, and I do feel like you're going to see some symptoms in your body physically. Kind of feels like neck, shoulders, lower back, stomach stuff, that sort of thing when you're stressed. And some of you are experiencing that because you're just working, doing, and you're not finding the balance. Do like I did last week, just take the day off. Just don't do anything. It's okay. The world will not crumble beneath you, I promise. Spirituality, some of you will be shifting your focus from financial security to spiritual fulfillment. Some of you could be taking a step back from spiritual traditions to pursue different ones. Some of you could be feeling so burdened with responsibility or feel under pressure that you may finally take some me time or space for yourself. And I think overall, if you can just pay attention to what's happening, it will be a balanced and decent week for you. That covers this week's predictions. I'm sending everybody lots of positive vibes. I hope that it'll be a successful week for you. Let's get to tonight's caller. I have Jane in Chicago. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How can I help you this evening?
I just have a question about, do you see any, love life going my way? I've been single for the past 4 years.
Okay, so I do feel like there's love around you, right? But I feel like you're not getting out enough, mixing and mingling and networking enough to where you're getting new people into your life. I kind of feel like, when you are out and about, you're typically with the usual crowd, but I feel like you've got to let some new people in. I just feel like you've got to mix and mingle, and then the possibility, I feel like you're going to meet somebody out and about. I don't feel like you're going to meet this person through online dating or anything like that. Do you go out and socialize with your girlfriends?
I used to go out a lot, but I stopped. So I probably need to go out again.
I feel like you've been a little bit of a hermit lately.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I feel like you've got to get back out a little bit. Maybe not like you were before, because I feel like before you were kind of going hard, trying to be out there all the time. And I think you maybe ran yourself ragged between going out and working and, life. But I do feel like you've got to try things where maybe you're doing something where you're, some hobbies and interests that you have. I don't feel it as bar hopping. I don't feel like you're going to meet this person going out clubbing, right? I feel like it's going to be just going and doing something going to a book fair or, I don't know, a meditation group or just something like that, or one of those paint, where you can go and you can paint and drink wine or something like that. For some reason, it feels something connected to a creative type space. Are you a creative person? Are you into that sort of thing?
Actually, I lost my son April 29th, so I'm going to grieving group, and I am actually going to start to go for the first time with this an organization for to prevent suicide. So sometime next week.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay. What you're doing is amazing, and I'm sorry about your son. But I kind of feel like, I almost feel like this is going to lead you to that person, right? Through this organization. And I feel if you really get involved and go to different events, different, meetings, or however it's run. I just feel like if you immerse yourself into that, through that avenue, you're going to meet a bunch of new people. And I kind of feel like you may meet a gentleman that is in a very similar situation as you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I feel like I feel like this person also lost a child to the suicide.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like it was also a son. So I feel like you will, and I feel this gentleman will have, he has brown hair, and he will be taller than you. His eyes are light. I can't tell if they're a light brown or a lightish, greenish, hazelish color. And I feel like he wears glasses sometimes, and other times he doesn't. So and he feels like he's professional. So I feel like he has it's a professional type career that he has, because I see him in a dress shirt. And I feel like you're going to meet him through this group. Wow, that was pretty detailed. You've got to let me know if that happens, because I typically do not get like detailed information like that. So I'm very, very curious. Did your son, okay, I don't know, for some reason I just keep getting like the letter J. So I'm not sure if it's connected to this person that I'm feeling that you will meet, or if it's connected to somebody in your family or your son. I know your name starts with J, but it's not you.
No. Well, the person that I'm supposed to, the person that I met through the grieving share, his son died through suicide also. He's the one who told me that, he's got this gathering group for this prevent suicide, something that but his name doesn't start with J.
Is he cute?
He's not ugly. But
I'm just curious because, like, he sounds, kind of. Does he have brown hair?
He's got brown hair.
Does he wear glasses?
He's got an average body. A little bit of beer belly.
Was he wearing a dress shirt?
No, not really.
Okay, I don't think it's him. He doesn't. Yeah, I don't think it's him. He doesn't vibe with the guy that I'm feeling for you. The guy that I'm feeling doesn't have a beer belly.
Okay.
He might have a dad body, but he doesn't have a beer belly. So I don't feel like it's that gentleman. I feel like it's a different one. Do you have any other questions for me? We have a little bit of time, and I don't have time for another caller. So if there's anything else you want to talk about,
whatever you feel. I've been missing my son. I know he's always with me. He committed suicide by freight train. He was 20 years old. And, what's just getting me through the day every day is just praying and just always thinking he's with me. And for whatever reason, I feel that, he told me that he's going to bring this guy to me, like the guy.
Yes.
The guy that that I deserve and that I desire, that, something like that.
Yes, yes, because I was going to tell you the exact same thing. He is leading you to him. Like, he is pushing. All of this is he's helping line this up because he wants you to find love. And
yeah,
he knows that, he knows that your heart is broken and he takes responsibility for that. But at the same time, he just feels like he would have traveled down a really dark road if he didn't just leave. Like, he genuinely felt it was time for him to go. And he felt that was the quickest and easiest way to do it and the least painful. Like, it was instant.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very much a conscious decision. And, he loves you so much, and he's always around you. Like, he's always very nearby, and he is pushing you. So keep listening to your intuition and that feeling that you get from him, because he's genuinely guiding you. And like I said, you're going to meet this guy, and I feel like he's in a similar situation, and you're going to meet him through the group, and you're going to live happily ever after. I just feel it. I know it. And your son is going to help make it happen. So please keep me posted and let me know. And thank you so much.
I will. You're giving me goosebumps. I just wanted to, just goosebumps. And just one more question. Do you see me being like an advocate?
Yes, you're totally going to be immersed in this. Like, you're going to do amazing things, and you're going to do it with that guy that you meet. But I have to go. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great week. See you next week. Bye.